Alright guys, so this is Nathan Mendelsohn here again with T-Lobe. Show you guys the final step here in the armbar series, okay? Today we're going to be working on how to break the guy's hands apart. Once you've got the arm all set up, you got the guy stuck, but he's just holding that arm, being really insistent on not letting you break the grip apart. How are we going to get those hands apart so we can straighten that arm, okay, and get the finish there in the end, all right? So if you guys are enjoying this content here weekly, a new technique every Wednesday, please subscribe, please like, okay, and drop some comments down there too, okay? Let me know any questions that you guys have and we'll try to cover them in future videos. We'll see.
Sometimes I feel like I'm about to break down. First person me mugging, catch a takedown. I can't relax with them fakes around. Gotta represent for who support me, gotta make them proud. No fakes allowed, you make me paranoid. No more LSD for me and trying to stare at the void. She inherently coy, she playing hard to get, but I ain't got no time for games. I'm busy, I got bars to spit, ain't got no cardigan. I ain't no pretty boy.
Alright guys, so today we're going to be working on a part of the armbar that people ask me about a lot, okay? How do I get the guy's hands apart? I always have a hard time getting the guy's hands apart, okay? This comes a lot from impatience, okay? The biggest part about getting the guy's hands apart is patience, okay? You have to take your time, okay, and work on tiring the guy's arm out. Okay, in the beginning, he's going to have a really strong arm. He's really going to believe a lot that he's going to escape your armbar. Okay, so it's going to be really hard to finish in that moment. Okay, the longer you spend burning the guy's arm out and the more tired it gets, the easier and easier it's going to be to finish that arm. So you got to think of when you have the armbar locked in, you're this close to winning. So you really have to value keeping that position over moving forward. Just like anything else in jiu-jitsu, when we're talking about the ladder and everything, it's all about getting something and not losing it. Okay, you have to think about that when you have the submission locked in, that's the absolute best position you could possibly be in. That is positional dominance, okay? Even better than having the best positions or the top of the ladder, like the mount or the back, the only thing that could be better than that would be having the person already in a submission. A lot of people get to that position of the submission and they're like, I have a window here. Like it's a finite window and I have to take advantage before the guy escapes my armbar and I have to make him tap. Okay, you need to stop looking at it that way. Stop looking at it like you have this finite window that you have to finish him within. Start thinking about focusing on keeping that window open as long as possible. Okay, then eventually you'll be able to get the submission. Start thinking about it like there's a stamina bar, like on a video game, on the guy's arm. The longer an amount of time that you keep that window open, the more that stamina bar of the guy's arm is going down. Okay, and he gets easier and easier to finish. Control, take your time. You have infinite time to keep that window open as long as you focus on the details of keeping the person there. Okay, if you have that mind state first, then you're already going to see yourself getting a lot more armbars. Okay, so let's get into it here and start working on some of the specifics. Okay, so if you guys go back and watch the other armbar videos, armbar from the mount, okay, armbar from the guard, and you'll see how we get the person in this awesome best position possible with him belly up here, me with my bottom leg up super high, leg hook in his head, this outside arm through to elbow, hugging to the hip, pinching it tight to my belly here, okay, reaching down now, grabbing on the outside of his leg, pulling this to me and keeping my elbow on the floor, okay. So this is the position that we want, okay? If we've got this all set up the way that we want it, now he's not going to be able to escape. The last video we worked on, if he does hit his knees, okay, then all the ways now that I can flip him back over, okay? I can flip him here. We did two other ways, okay, that we can flip the guy back over if he hits his knees, okay? So even if he hits his knees, you're just going to flip him back over, get him back here. He still has an escape, okay? So I'm not going to ever use this top leg to come and try to do something like this, because now this top leg here is not keeping his head down. So this is where I see a ton of people lose armor. Now the guy comes up and you don't have this to put him down again. Yep, and he gets up and then boom, you start taking it out. Okay? So don't ever, this leg's job is to keep him down here, and it's going to do that job the whole time. The only problem solving hand that's going to help me to free it is this one. I'm also not going to take this out and start doing anything here, doing any of this stuff, because again, Now I just lost this perfect position. Even if something up here might work, it's not worth it because now I'm not holding his arm anymore. So now he just pulls his elbow to the ground, boom, I slipped it and lost it. I know if I don't take this out, he's not gonna take his elbow out. This one now is the one that I'm using to problem solve here. Okay, if I do have to let go here, so there's a chance that he might scissor his base. Okay, so if he does scissor his base and I'm messing around up here, I just focus on the other two things. Hand on the ground here so my back won't go to the ground, and this leg here keeping his head down. Now even if he scissors his legs and tries to get up, then I just keep him down, okay? And he doesn't get up. Even if he does get up, then I just flip him over again, okay? So as you're here now, what we're gonna do, and the main thing that's gonna get this arm out here is not even me trying to get the hand out. It's just gonna be me leaning here, okay? Extending with my body here and stomping with this leg, okay? And leaning into this arm. Okay, as I sit here onto his arm, the harder he pulls to keep his arm bent there, the more pressure is going to be here on his arm. Okay, so the more time I spend here, the more and more this arm's going to get burnt out. Okay, I also can take my hand and twist it just a little bit here so that the blade of my forearm is more in his forearm here, and that'll make it even more uncomfortable for him here. Okay, that's the number one main thing that's going to get this out. So set it up, keep the guy here. Don't let him escape. Lean on this arm and have patience and just let this arm burn out. Let everything else handle itself. Most likely the guy's not going to be able to take this forever. He's probably going to let go here at some point, start pushing on this leg. Before you know it, this hand's just hanging out here, and then you come for the finish. Okay. Well, let's say that he's staying here really tight. Okay, let's go over a couple different ways that the guy might be holding that I can start to get it free. This is a really common way that the guy will hold his hands, okay? So I'm leaning here. In the beginning when he's got his hand here and it's like in there really deep so that I can't see this palm of his hand, okay? Then it's gonna be really difficult to get this out. As I lean here and lean and lean and lean and lean for a really long time, I eventually start seeing this like palm of his hand pointing out. Okay, once I see that starting to come out here, then I know when I give him this palm strike that the hand's gonna come free there. Okay, so as I'm leaning here, I'll pick a moment, come up, palm strike it, and then that hand will be free. Okay, if I just hang out here, then he'll hold his hands together, and then I have to deal with another way that he's locking his hands. So to avoid that, as soon as his hand comes out, my hand's in between his hands here, so I just come and snatch it first, hug it to my chest, okay? Now very important is that when I go for the final finish, I come hand off of my hip to his wrist, hand over hand, elbows together really tight, make sure I keep his thumb facing the ceiling, okay? And then I lean back on it here. If I just hug it here, he can do the hitchhiker escape. I work super hard, guy hitchhikers and sneaks out on me, okay? So I make sure that as soon as I hug it to me, I go hand over hand, elbows in tight, keeping my legs super tight. Now if he tries to do the hitchhiker, I just give him a counter twist to keep his thumb facing up. Now he can, if the thumb doesn't go, the whole rest of his body can go as much as he wants, but his arm will stay. Okay, and then you just lean back and bridge. Okay, and you get the finish. Other ways that the guy can hold together. So sometimes he'll go palm to palm. So if the guy's holding like this, okay, I like to lean, keep this really tight. I just come with this palm of my hand and I sneak it under the palm of his hand. So pull really hard there, Travis. Okay, he's gonna be pulling, I'm gonna be pulling, okay? And I'm just gonna start to, okay, and peel it out. Once it peels out, I come, same thing. Okay, another way that the guy might hold is hands like this, okay? This can be really difficult. Okay, the guy that holds like this is really strong. Okay, this can be really good for him. What I like to do here again is going to be a patience game, but I'm going to come with this arm. Okay, of course, I'm taking it off of his leg, so I have to be very careful. Okay, if I need to, I always come back to his leg, but I'm going to come up here now and hook at his wrist, grab to my own collar. Okay, pull really hard. Okay, and now I'm going to lean. Okay, I'm just going to lean, and you got to think, you know, the guy might have strong biceps here, but he's against the whole weight of my body. So it's basically how much he can lift on the bicep curl versus how much I can lift on a deadlift. Okay, and my deadlift's gonna be stronger even if he's way bigger than me. Right, so I'm just gonna lean here, pull real hard. I'm gonna pull really hard back, okay, and just lean on this thing until he can't handle it anymore. Okay, and then eventually it's gonna pop out, and I come here. The guy, any of these, he's gonna feel super strong at first, but if you stay on it, the guy's gonna feel that going and going and going, and that ticking time bomb starts happening, okay? Another way that people can hold sometimes is holding their wrist like this, okay? Anytime the guy grabs a wrist like this, he messed up, okay? You've got the wrist lock super easy here, okay? So anytime the guy does this, that's the end. Sometimes it'll be only for a second. Like sometimes he'll be doing this first one, and I'll punch it out, right away he'll grab like that. Sometimes he even knows that this isn't the best way to grab, but he's got to grab something for a second. So while he's doing that, come right to the hand, pull the wrist in, and on the wrist there, boom, and you get the submission. The one thing that I will do sometimes is if the guy's holding like this, I'll start looking to transition this leg over the top. Okay, so we worked on this a little before, the foot behind the head armbar, so I can go here, take this leg, scoot it inside, or the other option is if he's here like this, I can go over, okay, and then for a second, take this leg up and just boom, and now it pulls it, that breaks those hands apart there. Sometimes I can come up and get it right then. Sometimes he then grabs his hands together again though, but now my leg's in here. Okay, anytime my leg's in here, now I can drag it in front of his face, foot behind his head, little scoot to get my knee down. Now I'm in the very best armbar position here. Now I really don't even have to hold his leg anymore, because with this knee here, always keeping my butt out to the side, not like this. Okay, always here so that the shin is in front of him. Now I don't even need the leg in front of his head. As long as I keep this tight, if Travis tries to sit up, he's gonna run into this knee here. So now I can just hang out, okay, and I'm really good here. Now I can come here, now I can start to pull with my left foot, kick with my right foot, and put a ton of pressure on his neck, which will be another thing that'll make it harder for him to stay here, okay? And I can make him more uncomfortable, and I'm just gonna be in a better position that's gonna be tougher for him to escape, and now I can use this hand the whole time to come up here and start working on freeing this hand, okay? Because I don't no longer need it to be holding here. So this is an even better position. Another thing that I can do, I'm not a huge fan of it, but people that like the triangle, obviously if I've got this leg over here now I can let him come up, okay, and he's gonna sit up right into a triangle. Okay, and I can go there for the finish as well. So sometimes people will hold like up like this. So this is a good example of also for some of the things that you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to do a little bit of problem solving. So there's gonna be a little bit of improvisation, just like he's kind of improvising here on different ways that he can hold his hands to try to make it tougher for you, that he can hold on his arms and your leg and whatever. Again, it's patience. If you stay here and you're burning his arm out and then you're just problem solving ways to get this apart, if you don't let him escape, you're gonna win that game eventually. He has to escape eventually, right? All he's doing by holding his hands is holding off the inevitable of you finishing him. That's not a defense. It's a defense, but it's not an escape. Okay, he has to escape. So if he doesn't escape, eventually you're gonna get it. You're just gonna be fighting. He's gonna be holding you off. Eventually you're gonna break down his defenses and get through if you have good control and you don't let the guy get out. So don't get desperate here, but just, use your time and problem solve here with patience, okay? But so if the guy's holding like this, something that you can do is always look to try to get your wrist underneath the guy's wrist to pull his hand out. Okay, so this would be an example of that. For here would be one situation where I might for a second look to pull down, try to get my hand inside here so that it's now in between his hand and his own bicep, and pull it out to the side, and then I can get it to go straight. Okay, of course if I start to lose this, then my hand will come right back to my hip again. Okay, but there's a lot of situations where the guy will be holding where you have to look to do something like that. Get your hand wedged in between underneath his wrist and his hand and start to pull his arm out. His arm gets really weak in this angle. So if you can pull it out like that, you can get it to go straight really easy. All right, so just another way to explain that. Like this is like a weird way. He probably wouldn't hold his hands like this, but just to show you, okay? Anytime he's like holding in some weird way and you're not sure what to do, just try to come up and wedge underneath so that you can get in between there his hand and whatever he's holding on to. Okay, and then try to tweak it out to the side so that you can pull the grip out, right? You always gotta know which way his hand opens. So if you're pulling it into the way his hand opens, it won't go. If you pull it away, then it'll pop off. So try to get up there, okay, twist it out, okay, and just pop it off. Okay, any way that the guy's hand and is holding his hands, all you're looking to do is get his hands apart. So you just gotta wedge something in there, okay, boom, pull it out, and come back, okay? All right, guys, so hopefully that was helpful. Okay, that's the last thing on the armbar series there. Okay, so go back and keep watching all the armbar videos, practicing them, drilling those moves. I guarantee you it's gonna help you to start upping the rate with which you get arm bars in training and competition. This is really solid stuff. Okay, I'm not showing you guys some random stuff that I'm just like drilling and trying to see if it works or not. This is stuff that's been working for me for years in training and in competition against both opponents and training partners that already know I'm gonna do it, know what I'm trying to do. Again, I'm still able to get it. Really focus on those details. It's nothing fancy, it's just all those little details that people overlook. Again, I guarantee you if you train those, it's gonna up the rate that you get those arm bars, okay? So keep coming back every week, every Wednesday, a new technique here. Okay, other videos will also be getting thrown in there, vlogs and stuff throughout the week. So if you like the content, please subscribe, like, drop a comment down there. If you're watching this video, you watch it all the way till the end. Okay, please let me know in the comments. That would mean a lot to me to know that you guys are enjoying it. Okay, subscribe and I appreciate you guys' support.